It's May, and of course, many parents, most likely yourself if you're watching this video, thinking about the 11 plus exam preparation for your child. Now, while the average student these days starts preparation in year 4 or at least September of year 5, there are always a flurry of parents who either seem to find out about these exams quite late or they think it's enough time for their child. But the nuts and bolts of it is that preparing or starting to prepare from May, when the exam is, so May, June, July, August, September, you know, you're looking at just under 4 months away, because the grammar school selection tests are actually in September. First and second week of September are most of the exams. You've got the odd school here and there that may have it in the third week. So it doesn't leave all that much time. But we're here. You're watching this video because you want some help on how to prepare your child with the time that is left. Well, the first thing that you need to do is to just focus this month on building a strong foundation for the 11 plus exams. So I'm just going to run through the 4 topic areas, 4 subject areas, and what you should be looking at in terms of preparation. So if you're new to the 11 plus exams, there are 4 areas of examination or assessment, should I say. English, maths, verbal reasoning and non-verbal reasoning. And so there are other videos on my channel where I explain which schools do which papers and you know what the verbal and non-verbal reasoning means. I won't be covering that in this video, but there are other videos on the channel that do, so please head over to the video gallery wherever you're watching this and you know take your time and find out a bit more. So for English, you need to concentrate on reading comprehension, vocabulary and grammar. Okay, your child needs to be showing that they have a good understanding for vocabulary and grammar, and they need to learn the actual grammar rules. So your child should know what a simile is, for example, or what a metaphor is. And you need to use some of the standard books to get this practice going. So many parents are very much fans of or recommenders of CGP 11 plus English books. I actually prefer bond English books because I think if we're only providing children multiple choice responses at this point, we will miss a few things. We will miss where their spelling mistakes are creeping in. Perhaps they don't understand some of the basic spelling conventions in English, etc. So I prefer bond because they have to write their answers down for most of the questions. So in maths, you want to cover basic arithmetic, and there are core maths topics for the 11 plus exams. We're talking about fractions, decimals and percentages, for example, area, perimeter. Your child needs to have a really solid foundation in all of those areas. And again, you can use the Bond 11 plus maths books to get going. If you use CGP, many parents will jump straight to the 10 to 11 because they think that the 10 to 11 really reflects the age of their child, and so that's the book that the child should be working at. But this is the 11 plus exam, and there are many topics that go far beyond Key Stage 2, which doesn't finish until your child's in year 6 anyway. So if you start with the 10 to 11 book, I find that many parents report that their children just lose confidence. Why? Because the questions are usually quite hard for them, especially if this is the beginning of your preparation. And they will just feel that the 11 plus exam is impossible, that they have no hope of ever passing, and confidence is a big area when it comes to 11 plus preparation. Verbal reasoning. Now, this basically involves understanding word patterns and sequences. So you could simply try the GL practice papers. Since GL is practically providing exams for the majority of English grammar schools or counties within England, it used to be that there was a good split between GL and SEM, but SEM decided recently that they would not be providing paper-based assessment papers for any school or exam, basically. So many counties and grammar schools have reverted back to GL. So I would suggest using the GL practice papers. And I would say the same for non-verbal reasoning. Non-verbal reasoning is about looking at basic patterns and shapes, and then, you know, working out the odd one out, or the next in the sequence, that type of thing. So with all the preparation that you are intending to do for your child, I want to emphasize that daily practice is key. So there are different schools of thought with this, but if your child is already starting late, there is some catch up to do. So you really need to get an agreement with your child, get their understanding of what they're actually preparing for and the amount of time that they have left, and agree on whether it's an hour or two every day of practicing and learning, practicing and learning. So yes, you could make learning fun using educational games and apps, but I think that if you're starting in May, you really don't have enough time to make it all fun and interesting. You've got to get down to filling in your child's gaps, building their foundation, and really trying to elevate their score. So how would you know if your child is working at the level needed? Well, as a minimum, your child should be achieving 85% in all the assessments that you give them, all the test papers, etc. for 11 plus exams. If your child's paper falls short of that, then you know that there is a lot of work to do. And another thing to consider is, you know, at this time of year, there isn't a lot of time left. And if you're a parent who doesn't understand anything about verbal reasoning, non-verbal reasoning, perhaps, you know, you've forgotten a lot of your maths at school because, you know, of course, as adults, we're not using all the maths that we learnt how many decades ago. It's probably worth considering using an experienced and reputable 11 plus tutor. So at Geek School, we have 2 centres, one in Beckenham and one in Lewisham. So if you're in the Greater London area, you can come and see us and have a free assessment for your child. Additionally, we actually have online tuition. We provide an online 11 plus program, and which means that we can literally help students wherever they are in the world, and we do, not just in the UK, but, you know, we have students who are preparing for independent schools. We've had some preparing from abroad for grammar schools as well in the past. Obviously, since COVID, we've seen how we can make education work online if we need to, and it clearly works. So we do provide that option for parents who either can't get to one of our centres, or you just have a preference for online. It saves time on commuting, etc. So if you are looking for some help, just head over to geekscore.co.uk or look in the description wherever you're watching this video, and there'll be some details regarding how to get in touch and to book that free assessment and get your child on the right track. So I hope this video has been helpful. Please remember to share the video. You'd never know who else needs some kind of guidance, and the idea is that there will be a series where I break down what you should be doing with your child between now in the summer months all the way to September. Bye.